Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Armani and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Armani's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. So your dogs are going to come home with their very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use this properly during your follow-up training session today. Now, Armani is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Armani, heel.
Armani, heel.
Now at this point, she has a job to do, and that is to remain even with your left leg when you're walking with her. Not forging ahead or lagging behind, but matching pace with you. You hear Rich talking to her to keep her focused and motivated. He tells her she's a good girl, and she keeps that shoulder right even with his left leg. And this is how we started introducing the dogs. When we started working with them together, we were doing obedience training with them together. And I think this is really important for you guys to remember at home, is that they have to see you as pack leaders. And not just as one of the pack, because then you've got two very strong personality dogs that are vying for pack status. You have to be the pack leaders. We have a blanket out here for her because it's cold. The next command that Rich is going to demonstrate is the sit stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. You can each take a dog on the leash and start practicing obedience training together with them, both on leash, outside, and inside. And work up to where we've gotten them to, which is a pretty friendly relationship. Rich returned all the way back to her, stopped at her shoulders, and then gave her another command. And they enjoy doing their work. It's good for them. Rich is going to leave her in another sit stay. And work your sit stays up to 3 minutes. And this time, instead of returning back to her, Rich is going to use her name, and he's going to call her. And this is the recall, or the come on command. Calls her in. She should come right in front and sit. And you see that eye contact and focus is really good. And then she returns back to heel and back sitting. And she looks up for approval. She's such a sweetheart. She really is a darling, and she puts up with a lot from Bruno. She's not a hair trigger at all. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with her seated at your left, you're going to use your left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. Your down stay is best practiced right in your living room. Each of you take a dog on the leash, put them into down stays, and work up to 5-minute long down stays. When Rich returns back to her, again, he walks all the way around her, returning all the way back to heel. When he leaves her again, he leaves her with another stay command. So every time you go back to those shoulders, you have to give another command. Then he calls her out of that, and she comes right in and sits. What a good girl. And then she goes back to heel. Now we have given you a little demonstration of all of Armani's obedience commands. We're going to get Bruno and show you his version of the same commands, and then we're going to do a little work together so that you guys have this to practice with at home, and we will be right back.